Hello everyone, I'm Kiyan Kapur and welcome back to Wellness Whispers, a series where I interview practitioners of various wellness techniques. Today we are joined by Dr. Ankita Pandey. Namaste. Namaste ma'am. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Dr. Ankita is a young and passionate physiotherapist and is going to talk a lot about physiotherapists in this modern age. So let's get started. In today's day and age, when we hear physiotherapy, we often think of something that prevents injury for athletes or something that the elderly use for surgeries. Can you sort of debunk these myths for physiotherapy?
Okay, so when we hear a term which is called physiotherapy,
right.
So we always think like that once injuries happen, then you have to approach a physical therapist or physiotherapist. So this is totally a myth. You can also work towards the many of injury prevention programs. Also, it will make sure our postures are all right in all the young ages, so we don't land up with a lot of injuries in late 40s, 50s and 60s.
Okay.
So with this say, we can reduce a lot of burden from our medical healthcare as well, where you say the surgery. So we can reduce a lot of number of surgeries with the help of preventive physiotherapy.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah. And in a generation where everyone is addicted to their phones and we've all got tech necks and drooped shoulders, could you tell us a little bit about that? Is this sort of damage reversible and how long does it actually take to, take effect?
Okay, so when you say the tech neck, that means there is some changes in the neck and spine structures. So nowadays, like we know, the technology is so much available for everybody and it's approachable, and it's advancing day by day. So when we have lot of these kind of technologies available within fingertips for us. So what happens when we use this a lot for the longer period of duration, that depends how much damage happen in what duration. So suppose if somebody is using phone or desktop in very low height and their ergonomic is not so right, that will take lot of changes in the neck and cervical structures as well, and also muscles around that area. So depends how much longer duration they have damaged that, but in young age, if we'll talk about in 20s, 30s, they are completely reversible. We can reverse it and a lot of things can be corrected to prevent this for further age groups.
That's great to know. Yeah. Also, in today's day and age, I hear a lot about these social media fads, things like massage guns and foam rollers. How many of these do you think actually work and how many of those should we avoid?
They work well when they are combined properly with the exercises, but if somebody thinks only massage guns and foam roller is going to help, that is totally a wrong myth. It has to be always given as per their strength, flexibility, how much they can use it, because doing foam rollers and massage gun on a weak structure could lead to the several damages over the muscles. So if it is not advised by your doctor, please avoid it. For some relaxations you can do to some extent if you're regular exercising and doing proper flexibility routine, but if you're not into this and suddenly if some pain ache started and you start with the sudden foam rollers and massage guns, then you don't know how much damage you're going to do the structures, because you don't know if your muscles are weak or stiff.
Absolutely.
So that will cause a harm to the
right. So a balance is important.
Yes.
And for athletes like myself, can you recommend a few easy tests for us to not just prevent injuries but also improve actual performance? What are common recommendations?
Okay, so some of the tests can be done, for the very commonly injured part is the hamstrings area.
Right.
Okay, so it's a very simple test. Just you have to lie down on the floor and just make sure your other leg is in a rest position, another leg, which one you're testing, it should go slightly higher all the way up. Make sure if it is stopping by 60 degrees, 70 degrees, that means there is a problem with the hamstring tightness.
Stiffness.
Yes, stiffness. So this is a simple test for the hamstrings. Now we look for the quads. Hamstring and quads are the structure which gets mostly injured in athletes. Okay, so you can also just simply stand and just bend your heels towards the hips. You will get to know what kind of flexibility you have in the quads area.
Okay, interesting. So basic stretches and seeing how much you can. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
And For someone whose body feels fine but could actually have some sort of underlying issue, what's a simple mobility test? Would it be something like these stretches again?
Yeah, these are stretches will be always there because it will define the muscle length, but you have to also always check your joint flexibility. Okay, so if end range of joint is restricted, like suppose somebody sits along in the, like a work nature, they have long
correct.
sitting desk and
Many
all.
people
So if they are unable to sit cross-legged on the ground, that means their hip mobility is compromised. So simply even sitting on the ground, you can check the mobility on the hip area, how it does work.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, that does work in this way. And also sometimes what happens when we bend forward to lift something suddenly, our back spine mobility is correct or not, you can check it like that. So if you already experiencing some pain, don't do that before you check it out with the like medical doctors, but make sure you should avoid any kind of intense bending if there is a pain aches. But you can check it always, like bending your knees and just scooting it down and lift it up. So that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, ma'am, earlier on we discussed preventing injuries before they even happen. So could you tell us a little bit about pre-rehabilitation, maybe for people who are pursuing a career which requires them to be constantly on their device?
Okay, so one of the things when you're starting any kind of sports or gaming, anything is fine. But when you start these kind of like practices, make sure you pre-consult any of the physio for pre-rehabilitation. You check it out, how is your muscles ability to perform that kind of sports or game. So suppose if already a person is dealing with the bad postural habit, that will lead to the further more deterioration, and that is not just only going to create a problem with the performance, it is also going to create a problem with the confidence of the person. So if they are losing the posture, that is the first thing which has to be visible as a presentable thing. And also they will feel confidence when they are performing, whether it is in gaming or whether it is in a sports or in the ground. So it's very important to check it then how your musculoskeletal system is performing. Sometimes like we say, this time the kids are having a lot of stress, okay, because they are dealing with the multiple things. So they can also take care of their physical health with the simple stretches. They can add on 10 minutes of mobility drills, which is very basic. We are very rich in yoga, so some of the basic practices can be added on to work on their flexibility, and that will also help them to breathe properly throughout their work, and that can enhance their performance in the field, on field, off field both.
Definitely. And what are some quick fixes? Like you mentioned, we know that we should use phones with a higher neck, but we often forget that our laptops are often at a lower surface. So what are some other things you would recommend?
So first thing is your chair will have a very good positioning. If you were using too low chairs, that will lead to the lot of stiffness in the hip area, and your spine is under constant pressure. So make sure wherever you're sitting, your pelvis will be always aligned with your hip and knee should come in a same levels, okay. And also the other thing you have to make sure, when you're keeping your hand to work on any kind of desk, the armrest should be always there to support your forearm, so you're not hunching in the front and then you're working out. So that will make a lot of changes and reduce a lot of strain from the neck and shoulder area. And next point is, when you're sitting and you don't like do stand or move a lot, so just make few changes, just ease the pressure from your spine. For doing this, you don't need to move so much, just you can rotate yourself on the chairs to make some difference.
Even that will make a big difference.
Just look upwards, so you can ease a lot of pressure from your spine, and that makes a lot of change in the circulation. Just a quick fix.
Thank you so much for your time, ma'am. Guys, I hope you learned something from this video. The trick is to keep it simple and to keep small consistent efforts to solve the problem before it even exists. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am. Thank you.